Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I'd like to welcome you in, Divine Feminines. Let's do it again. Let's welcome you in, guys. So, today we're going to clear that energy, maybe as we begin and as we end, because what we're going to focus on is a song written by Abbey Smith, I believe is her name, but she goes by YEBBA. It's Abbey spelled backwards. It's called My Mind. And she does a performance at the SoFar in New York City. You can see it. So it says SoFar NYC. I would highly advise that you go listen to the song. Don't read the lyrics. Listen to the song because she is transmuting a divine feminine pain. It's a specific pain. It's the pain of understanding that you're a divine masculine, your partner, whatever way you may have looked at this person, whatever moniker you ascribed, has cheated on you, has lied to you, has tried to deceive you. So this would be karmic interference, okay? So this song is such a beautiful tribute to powerful energy. I, in all of my life, have not known a pain in the way that I knew it over the last couple of years. This went on for a couple of years, and being that I am an empath, I ended up predicting the end of my relationship. Quite literally, I gave my partner a prediction about it, and it came true. More involved, more dastardly, more dramatic than I could have ever known, but my angels didn't want me to know the full of it, Divine Feminine, because I had to walk through it, but they did have me document it so that I can teach about it. I didn't understand why they had me do it. It was really weird. I didn't document much about that relationship. It just kind of happened. But the last 2 years, the second the prediction left my mouth, they said, start writing. I think there might be a book in it, guys. A book for us, a book for you. But until we get to that point, what I want you to understand is I've started to shuffle through here, and we're going to do a reading. I have some beautiful Divine Feminine cards. We're going to take a look at some of the lessons, and we're going to weave it through the song, My Mind. In the beginning, she says, I heard you come in at 2:45. You turned off the light and came into me, something of that nature. And you laid down and went to sleep. And then she said, and then I heard you say her name in your sleep. Your dirty secrets, too far gone to keep. My divine feminines, do you remember that moment when you had an intuitive download or an awareness? For me, this was not about catching anybody on their phone. This was not about cyber stalking, actually stalking. This wasn't about going and following anybody in a car. All of the information came from spirit. This experience with this person that was my soulmate sharpened me in such a way that it accelerated my spiritual gifts. I couldn't have paid for what her karmic and her did to me. For me, my divine masculine, I will be honest so that this doesn't get confusing, shows up in a woman's body. It was a best friend of many years and a soulmate, 20 years essentially, and a soulmate. So your divine masculine may be in a masculine form. Your divine masculine may be in a feminine body. I have some videos coming about divine feminine showing up in masculine bodies, archetypes that we've seen in movies. So that one is going to be such a good video because that was a download and I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite movies. I guess they were preparing me. Didn't realize. So we will talk about that. But the thing about this is there's an awareness that happens. And the awareness happens because you are a high priestess, loves. You are in divine feminine energy. Now these cards are beautiful and a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to read them for you. The high priestess, I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love, divine feminine. So let's transmute some of this energy. If you're one with your soul, and your soul is a legacy of love, and you love somebody, and you are a high priestess, wouldn't it stand to reason that the angels would give you information when it was time to understand what you might be dealing with? Of course they would. And in my case, that is exactly what happened to me. I know that my divine masculine was quite perplexed as to how I figured it out, but I knew before it happened. you see. We know when there are shifts coming, yeah? Divine Feminines, this is a reminder that you are a goddess of light. The goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. When that premonition came through, my divine masculine had a premonition that she was going to do exactly what she did. She knew, I knew, we both knew that it was the beginning of the end because we were mirrors reflecting back to each other. Shadow and light. I wouldn't say it was all light. There was darkness there, to be sure. But in it, we go forward, divine feminines. Love. Love is what sets you free. This is a saint of true freedom. Love is what sets you free. I am married to my own soul. In the song, YEBBA talks about being in this relationship, and she doesn't say specifically that it is a marriage, but what she does say is, I work so hard to keep you satisfied. She says, how could you do this to me when I work so hard to keep you satisfied? Divine feminines, can you relate to having satisfied or given a great deal of yourself to a person who was a taker, who was a user? For some of us who are narcissists or covert narcissists, as the revelations have come, as I've progressed with my journey in healing. Before I started this video, I listened to that song, and as I was going through the heartbreak over the last couple of years, I couldn't hear it without being destroyed. Today, oh, divine feminine, healing does come. I listened to it and it didn't cause a single tear to drop out of my eye because I've really begun my healing in a deep and genuine way. The thing that comes up here is Queen Esther, the morning star for you, divine feminine. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust in my soul's divine timing. This is interesting to me because what could we say that our divine masculine's ego was in service to? Was it of his soul, or was it of his sacral chakra, which is that sexuality? Was it primal lust? Was it bondage to the karmic? Okay. Now I have another video talking about how all karmic energy is scorpionic, while all karmics may not be Scorpios. But in my case, because that's how the universe likes to play ball with me, my divine masculine's lover is actually a Scorpio, and I had to transmute lower vibration Scorpio energy, and I learned so many magical things. I had an opportunity to go to other beautiful divine feminine Scorpios so that I would not become jaded and bitter about Scorpio energy. But what was downloaded to me once I started to seek out healing from other beautiful Scorpio energies and women that were powerful, that were dealing with my healing, what happened was I got this download about this, and I think it's going to be good food for us, guys, because Scorpio represents death. And right now we have a full moon in Scorpio. So these secrets, these secret desires, the bondages, the suspicions. Yeah. How does she start her song? I heard you come in at 2:45. You turned something in the lock and laid down next to me, and then I heard you say her name in your sleep. Your dirty secret. Ha! Scorpio rules secrets. Too far gone to keep. That's going to be a good video. Stay tuned for that. I can't wait to share some of the principles I learned because I think it will help you to glide through understanding what your divine masculine's going through. In my case, because of the deep therapy I've had and the deeper revelations I've had and the abundant way that the universe communed with me, because of a lot of things that happened in that partnership that got incredibly complicated, as any karmic partnership will get, especially because it's scorpionic energy. What I will tell you is that for me, I'm not manifesting my divine masculine back, but that doesn't mean that there's still not healing here for you that are, because you may not have the same situation. You'll have to assess that for yourself. So let's talk about this next card. Okay, the first woman, I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. Now that resonates deeply with me because in loving my divine masculine, I did not love myself. I found myself last year in the hospital 7 times. I didn't tell anybody because I have an autoimmune issue with my stomach and I was bleeding. It's not something I would normally share, but I think it's important for you to know how this can drain you. I didn't tell my my divine masculine. I didn't tell, my husband knew about a couple of times. I didn't tell a single friend. I want you to understand that I suffered in silence because I was loving out loud, and I was loving someone more than they loved me, and I was not loving myself at all. And that's why I had to be free. Love your body. Choose the life you desire to live. I don't want to live in the hospital. I don't want to be in the hospital because someone is purposely being cruel or wanting to get my attention. I don't know what your divine masculines did, but I want to talk about the triangulation and how that can be off-putting. Joan of Arc, I think, is appropriate for the next card here. I'm just checking our time. Warrior of Light. I have steel-like faith in myself. The angels armor me with conviction. When it's time to walk away from this relationship, when it's time, or if your divine masculine has walked away from you to embody the karmic relationship, there are things that will happen. It will do this to you. Your courage gets turned upside down and you think, wait a minute, wait a second here. This is not the way this is supposed to go. But this is the time where you cannot let these dark thoughts overtake you. You cannot let this energy of feeling like, where do I go from here? It is so important for you to choose your battles, guys. It is so important for you to understand that the universe is working something out for you, and that there are opportunities for this, new beginnings. There are opportunities for new beginnings. It's important to know that opportunity beckons, guys. I want you to also pay attention as you're traversing the energy of this heartbreak, Three of Swords. I want you to pay attention. This heartbreak, but I want you to pay attention to the synchronicities. Before you had the revelation of your divine masculine, however you found out about it, however you knew, what is it exactly that started to become synchronistic? What about their behaviors changed? What about the soul connection that you had seemed to veer off track and you couldn't really understand what was happening, because all you were trying to seek and all that the universe will be bringing you was this commitment, right? You wanted that energy, but divine feminines, you lost focused intention off of yourself. This card talks about thinking about what you desire, setting your sights high, and expecting the best possible outcome. A lot of us, I may not be popular for saying this, but are pouring a lot of energy into somebody who actually doesn't want you, who actually never had any, and I'm not saying that to trigger you, but it is for you to understand that if they chose the karmic partner, yes, there are lessons to learn. We are not going to begrudge anybody their lessons. But I hear a lot of us giving our power away when I'm watching these readings or when I'm doing readings. I hear us saying, when are they going to come back to me? Y'all, probably not the channel for you. That is not at all what I want. That's not what I want, but it may be what you want. And I hear a lot of readers making excuses, and they're saying, well, they just can't leave right now because they're stuck and they're this and they're that. Nah, homie, you can leave. You can leave at any time. You're making a choice because there's codependent enmeshment and all the stuff that divine feminines can. We talk. You had with your divine masculine too, just at a different level. Maybe you put some lovely gold enamel on it and you made it like powerful and magical. I know I certainly did. But the truth of the matter came when I was easily betrayed, lied to, treacherously betrayed and tossed away for something that was divine feminines. Is a karmic your equal at all? You know, my mother's favorite poem, the Desiderata, has a stanza in it: for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. So I never assume myself to be better or worse than anybody. We all will meet a match, or we all will meet someone who impresses us. But guys, let's talk about these karmics. You know, the karmics study your energy. You know that karmic stalked me and paid attention to me probably more than my divine masculine did in the last year and a half. What I want you to understand is that you have to be in a place of self-love here in order for your healing to begin. Okay? You have to be in a place of self-love in order to step out of it. Towards the end of the song, YEBBA says, I sure can't stay. She says this, No way, no way. She can't take you away from me. No way, no way. She can't take you away from me. I sure can't stay, but I'll be damned if I ever leave. Y'all, when I heard that the first time, it was so powerful. I sure can't stay, but I'll be damned if I ever leave. Now, that was me in the initial crushing realization of the heartbreak. This song definitely helped me to transcend through the heartbreak. But when I played it on repeat, when I had the first downloads of physical intimacy between my divine masculine and their karmic, I realized that I thought that I wanted to be part of their life. I want to ask you, not part of their life as like some polyamorous couple, not at all, but meaning my divine masculines. Like I was saying to myself, well, I've taught my divine masculine so much. Because remember, she shows up in a woman's body for me, but she understands what this relationship is. She understands the structure of it. She gets it. And so we're imprinted on each other. And I said as much to her. I was like, of course you're going to do this. My divine masculine, the situation was a very strange situation. It's very complicated, and more videos will come out where I can explain that to you in greater depth. But I didn't care as much about the physical intimacy. It was the emotional, right? Divine feminines, because I had no intentions of having physical intimacy with my divine masculine. That was my journey, was that, and that was actually a point of contention, to be very honest with you. But for some of you, you have shared physical intimacy on a regular basis, had full love relationships, been in full blown situations with your divine masculine, and then they're with this other person, and it's such a betrayal and it's such a shock to your system, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, how do I get past this? How do I even move past this? Well, you will always be in your divine masculine's energy, but there will be a time where you have to move forward for self-mastery, okay? Because what this relationship is to teach you, if it's a soulmate relationship, it's to sharpen you. We learn to love by people not giving us love. We learn to share by people not sharing with us. We learn to love ourselves by someone not loving us enough. And that, divine feminine, is the great lesson of divine masculine and yours relationship. They were selfish and unwilling for you, and it may seem that they do everything beautifully for the karmic, and maybe that's the person that they had to be vulnerable to. Oh, it hurts to hear it. My divine masculine will be dragged through the mud by the person that they chose. And I sound a little happy about it, but I'm not going to lie, because one of the things that occurred to me was that, oh, I could have never taught my divine masculine those lessons because I didn't have healthy boundaries with them. I want you to ask yourself, did you have healthy boundaries with your divine masculine? Did they get to run over you? Did they get away with murder? The person that they chose, they used to tell me all the time, they're so mean and they're so evil and then they're so demanding and mean to their friends. Yeah, well, we all reap what we sow, right? The card that I pulled out here for you for an animal totem is the stingray, right? Developing confidence, a sense of self, or a spine. Oh my gosh, guys, you can't make it up. That's what we needed, guys, was a spine. And that's what this experience of separation from your divine masculine will be. It's a spine building exercise. When I began, I thought, oh, it's just a separation. We'll figure this out. We're soulmates. We'll find our way back to each other. There's been so many revelations from my particular situation that's not what I'm not wishing on that star anymore. I don't, the karmic can relax. You're good. Keep it. You're good. Thank you, actually. I won't be setting fruit baskets, but thank you very much for relieving me. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. Let me hit this fan, y'all. It represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, ease, comfortable, and familiar. Let's talk about that. Why are we staying in toxic patterns and relationships with people that are supremely selfish and or possibly borderline personalities, narcissistic, when we know for a fact that they don't love us because we're comfortable? Hey, it's comfortable. Let's talk about that. And the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar, meaning there is this switch we have to make where we have to leave one thing behind that we know. Better the devil you know. Well, your divine masculine can very much become a devilment to your soul. With the gifts that I have and with the work that I do, I literally could not afford, beyond my own health, which was in jeopardy, I could not afford to stay enmeshed and to be in some competition I didn't know that I was partaking in. That's not my nature. I'm competitive with trivia games. I'm not competitive with my person, because divine feminine, you know how we love. And if I've loved you good for 20 years, and not just good, but excellent, because that's what I am, is excellence, divine feminine here, you are as well, then why on earth would I compete with someone who was not even mediocre? It's not like, and the karmic watching, don't get triggered. You might be like, well, if I'm not mediocre, I got your man, or I got your woman, or I got your whatever. You got an equally vibrating person to be lower vibrational with you. Congratulations. And you two can live in the mess together. That's just where I stand, divine feminines. I mean, some of you guys might be like still wishing upon a star. I'm pulling your divine masculine in. And again, you may not have suffered the treachery I did, but I do feel like it's important to understand that there is a reluctance to shift from the thing that was familiar and comfortable to the thing that was not. All right. And the thing that is not is your freedom. It's developing a spine. It's standing up for yourself. It's knowing what you're worth. That's an uncomfortable transition, okay? So pressure from friends and family makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again and again as the force of dharma, not karma. Dharma is what we're creating while we're here, is growing within the stingray, and it becomes too strong to ignore. When in balance, the stingray is eager and wants to grow. When out of balance, it blames others and it quits. When you bring it into balance, you move through your discomfort. For me, one of the underlying reasons that I cannot and will not be manifesting back my treacherous divine masculine is because there was deep mental illness and other things happening. One of the things that makes it a little bit more complicated for me is my divine masculine was another race and of different religious beliefs, and I didn't understand until all of this happened how he allowed his karmic and his community, remember they said friends and family can make this transition hard, to speak into his ear and to convince him that somehow I was the danger. It lambasted my senses. I couldn't believe. But then I realized, oh, maybe he was truly devoid of this and he was just lifting, or she, okay? So I say he because it's divine masculine, but my divine masculine just was doing it because it was something to be plugged into. I was a comfort to them. Now they're with people they can actually relate to, people they can have conversations with. I don't really begrudge it, because especially for me, there was a level, and I'm just going to put it out there, we're going to tell the truth and shame the devil today. There was a level of racism that was involved, unfortunately. I don't know why this is a theme that has happened in my life. I don't know if it's just because of my skin, but I have dealt with a lot of factions of people that have been very offended by my very presence because of how I look and how I exist. And while you may be evolved watching divine feminine or even divine masculine, watching that it's just trying to figure out what this whole journey is about, that was a thing that happened for me that means that I can't look back. So if I sound a little bit like I'm not encouraging your manifestation, you did not have to deal with that. But my divine masculine absolutely had a lot of very racist people in his family and his friends around him, especially the karmic and her husband. A lot of racism, a lot of energy going on there. And it's easy to make someone like me the villain, and the way that he tried to discredit and gossiped and did a smear campaign, which is very narcissistic energy, covert narcissistic, specifically for my divine masculine, which I discovered after some therapy over the last year or so. But what I will tell you is that disgusted me. So I can't be on this like mushy, yummy journey. I was, until I understood what was happening, and I thought I was just a fetish. I'm gonna leave that there. So that there's some healing I got to do about that, and there's a video I will make about that, because I think it's important to understand that that may be a dynamic, and it is so nuanced and specific. It was it's a lot. So for me, there is no manifestation. I'm not pulling in anything. I'm not gonna pull in that energy because I deserve beyond that. And I think that if that's in my divine masculine's heart, then she is with the right woman, because that is the person that she's with is exactly that lower vibrational energy. And that is why I say to you, be very careful when you're pulling in. All these cards we pulled tonight was about self-empowerment, divine feminine. Be very careful what you're pulling in. Understand, because see, when there was energy transference that was happening, and there's a whole video I will make about that, where my divine masculine was feeding energetically this racist boa constrictor. And I'm not saying that to be glib. I had a dream where there were two snakes, and one of them came in very quickly, smaller. And I realized in the dream it was my divine masculine. And lumbering behind it was this boa constrictor, powerful. It had sucked all of the energy. And I thought, why is this so big? In a split second, it was that big because I had been feeding all of my wonderful insight, juicy energy, clear communication, spiritual enlightenment to my divine masculine, who was giving me nothing, breadcrumbing me at the very least, and taking it all to give to his boa constrictor, that karmic. Guys, and that's why I was in the hospital 7 times last year, because I dealt with a level of treachery that had so many layers to it. So for you, I hope that was not your case, but I can tell you that if you have a karmic in your life and you're trying to do battle, that's why I was like, oh no. As soon as I realized what was happening, I was like, I'm out of here. As soon as I saw it, really saw it, I was like, okay. I just wanted to make sure, angels, because they were like, we've been telling you actually, but it's okay. You didn't want to listen. That's fine. But now that you know, get out as soon as you can. In this song, YEBBA pours out her soul. But what I want you to realize is in the pouring of her soul, she's teaching us something. There is a moment that you stay in that pain, and it's okay, but you can't live there. I stayed there for a while, and then my angels are so wonderful. God is so good. The Bible is amazing. That helped me a lot, y'all. Psalms took me through. God will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies. I didn't know I had an enemy. And God, when I say, while they were flirting in church and playing Pat the Puss, I was laid prostrate before the Lord for a year, saying, pass this cup before me. Divine Feminine, you may have prayed to have the cup pass before you, but sometimes we got to walk through this to find our spine. Yeah, sometimes we got to walk through the pain and transmute this pain into positive energy, into art, into creativity, into words, into teaching. These people that ascribe me as evil don't know how I supped with the Lord in order to get through the most intense betrayal of my life. Divine Feminine, you can heal from this betrayal. You may not be me. I mean, I have some extenuating circumstances, but you definitely can be you. And you definitely can find balance and stop giving your power away to somebody who is like giving it to somebody else and not even thanking you, not even giving you the credit for the work and energy you poured into their life. I'm just saying. So check out YEBBA's song. If you're at that stage, heal with her, release a few tears. I did. And then I moved on. And my angels started to give me clarity about the next steps of my life and what's possible for me in a real love relationship with a person who is emotionally available and not so incredibly damaged. You deserve better, guys, but you're gonna have to walk through whether you want to keep or release. Okay, you got to Marie Kondo your heart here. What brings you joy? What sparks joy? Does being in a third-party situation spark joy for you? Does wondering what your divine feminine or masculine is up to spark joy for you? Or does it spark angst, anxiety, pain, stress, relief? Does it make you sick? Then you know you got to swim away. But you got to swim away strongly with that spine intact. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here. All right, guys, thank you for sharing some energy with me today. I know it was a long one. I'm still getting used to my camera here. New setup. It's everything. And I want you to come back and join me if you want to transmute some more of this energy. I'll be doing some sacral chakra bowl ringings as well as some heart chakra bowl. I have a couple videos that are going to be up here, but I'm going to be doing some just some healing for the Divine Feminine Collective, where we pull a few cards and have a chat about things, and that means I want you to chat back. So please comment below, okay? That's all I want. You don't have to hit like, you don't have to subscribe, but I want to know your story, okay? Because that's really how we evolve together.